I would start with a question that has more to do with how they process information. I would start with a question like, how would you plan your ideal vacation? That is a good universal question for me because it's going to tell you how they process information, how quickly they respond to tasking, the time and resource demands that will go into any future tasking you give them while they're on the job. And the reason I come up with that is there's an exercise at CIA that they put us through called the 4 temperaments. And they break these 4 temperaments down into 4 different animal categories, basically. So the 4 animal categories are lions, foxes, cheetahs, and bears.
Interesting.
Right?
Tell me more.
So your lions are people who have a temperament to organize. Your foxes are people who have a temperament to create ideas, to create. Your cheetahs are people who have a temperament to take action. And your bears are people who have a temperament to build relationships. So
why those animals? None of those seem self-evident to me.
I don't know
other
why.
than the cheetah.
The fox is also relatively clever,
fair.
right? I don't know why. I was just taught, and I just do what I'm told.
Yep.
So what ends up happening is you ask in a high-performance team. A high-performance team is a 4-block team, right? If you can imagine a square with 4 blocks inside it, and each of those blocks is representative of one of those animal temperaments. You need each of them in a high-performing team. You can have a good team that doesn't have all 4, but if you want a truly high-performance team, you need all 4 present. Somebody to organize, someone to create ideas, someone to build the relationships, someone to execute. When you are looking to source somebody into HR, you already know who you're looking for. We need bears. We need cheetahs. We need lions. We need foxes. You should already know because you can run the temperament of your existing staff. And if you want to build a high performance team, you need all 4 blocks present. So you just find the missing block and then you start sourcing for that. The questions that you want to ask questions that disarm the person interviewing. Because guess what? Every person you interview is in what stage of their life? Or they're in what of their
very public.
Public life. I need this job. I want this job. I'm prepared for this job, right? I'm prepared for this interview. Public life. So you need to disarm them if you're going to find your way into their private life. If you want to see how they actually behave, you can't ask them questions about the job. You also can't ask them questions that go against HR policy, federal policy about what you do in an interview. So you have to ask these elicitation questions, these parallel questions. And a question like, how would you plan your perfect vacation, is completely disarming to somebody. So if they say, well, the first thing I would do is I would make a list of all the places I want to go and how much it costs to be there and, what the high season and low season is. Now you're talking to a lion. Lions want to organize, right? If you talk to somebody, what's your ideal vacation? Oh man, I'm just going to jump on the next plane to Fiji. You're talking to a cheetah. Cheetah just wants to take action. What the hell are you going to do when you get to Fiji? I have no idea, but I'm on the next plane, right? If you ask somebody what they're going to do for their ideal vacation and they come back and they're like, I've thought about this a lot and I'm either going to Antarctica or I'm going to Africa or I'm going to, Saudi Arabia because there's all this cool stuff going on in all 3 places and they've got fantastic reviews, you're talking to a fox because a fox is full of ideas. And if you ask somebody, where are you going on your perfect vacation? I'm going to go anywhere my husband wants to go. I'll go wherever my best friend takes me. You're talking to a bear. It's all about the relationship with the bear. Nothing else matters. Right? So when you ask a one-off question, you disarm the person. You already know they're coming in armed up because they're in their public life. So you've got to disarm them to get into their private life. And then you need to ask something that's going to give you some insight into how they're going to react on the job.